Hi, and welcome to my channel, Laura's Library Card. So again, today I have with me my lovely husband, Ben, and we are here to discuss the next two episodes in the Bridgerton series, which we've been watching. And we just finished episodes 5 and 6. So in 5, they had to procure the special license and get married, and they have the wedding and travel together to the inn where they have their wedding night. And then episode 6 is them frolicking all over the estate, kind of learning to be Duchess and Duke together, and ends in a tumultuous scene. So before we jump right to that scene, because I feel like we have a lot to say, do you have anything to say about episode 5 or how things are going so far?
I mean, yeah, I'll go through.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm not going to just jump right to the end. No, the prince obviously got snubbed, which, I don't know. I feel like the prince is, like, one of the few characters in the whole show that are, like, just a good person. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like everyone has sort of a good side and a bad side to them. And I feel like Prince Frederick was just trying to find a wife and was super genuine the whole time. And Daphne was like, ha, psych. So...
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like the prince was there and was from his perspective, yeah, he was just like courting this woman who suddenly is like, hi, I'm engaged to someone else. So yeah, he definitely got, the short end of the stick, I guess.
There's no doubt.
But yeah, I mean, I thought the speech that Simon made to the Queen was romantic and nice.
Yeah, he acted his pants off as usual.
Okay. And so that was a good scene where he declares...
Sorry, I guess the phrasing on that wasn't great.
I was going to let it go. He declares his feelings for Daphne, and they have the wedding. I do feel like we kind of had some foreshadowing with the scene between Daphne and her mother, where it's very clear, like after the wedding, where the mom is like, so the act... Oh, we've been interrupted. Okay, now I don't have to give you the birds and the bees talk. Yeah. I think that was just sort of foreshadowing for the future.
Yeah, I feel like there was another moment that was foreshadowing as well, but I don't...
Well, we've had clear, moments where Penelope and Eloise were both, in earlier episodes, unsure how pregnancy happens, or, Penelope's trying to investigate and she questions Marina. So I feel like the show has done a good job showing how these gently bred ladies are purposely kept in the dark.
Clueless, yeah.
Yeah. So I felt like that was really well set up.
Yeah. I also have to say that Will and Alice, who are the friends to Simon, who have to do with, the boxing portion of it, are also maybe the only normal, well-adjusted couple in the entire show. Everyone else has some stuff going on, and more power to them. Do whatever makes you happy. But I'm like, oh, this is the normal couple. Okay, okay, cool, good.
And I'm not really sure that they brought a ton to the show.
Other than
I mean, the guy's his name's Will. Will has been, sort of a friend to the Duke, but, he's really just, we need someone to come in and pick the Duke up. Why don't we make this, guy Will do it?
Yeah.
And Will seems like a closer friend to Simon than Anthony. And, multiple times in the show, they were like, Anthony and Simon are bestest friends. We grew up together in school together. And then,
they end up shooting each other.
Yeah. I mean, that was for the Bridgerton name. Yeah. So the other thing that
Anthony's top concern is the Bridgerton name.
Yeah. The other main plotline that is happening in these two episodes is Colin gets a lot more screen time because Marina needs to secure a husband because she is expecting, and she doesn't want it to be that old gross dude, so she's like, I want the young hot guy. She kind of is determined to make Colin propose to her, and she doesn't have to try very hard. Colin's just like, yeah, I'll propose to you, and I'm like, why? Because you want to like make out?
No difficult, yeah.
I feel like Colin. We didn't get enough of Colin to understand him before these 2 episodes, so I like this plot line, but at the same time, like, I don't really care about Colin, and like Marina, like, I understand from her perspective, like, she kind of tells Penelope, she's like, look, Penelope, like, once Marina. Spoilers, this whole thing is full of spoilers. If that was not clear.
15 minutes into the episode.
When Marina figures out that Penelope has feelings for Colin, and that's partly why Penelope has been...
like, so meddlesome.
Like, has been encouraging Marina to not look at Colin. Marina's like, look, like, I'm going to be a mom. Like, I need to provide for myself, for my kid. Like, I need... Like, Colin's my guy. Like, I have to make arrangements. Like, this... Like... It's sort of clear that Marina, like, isn't really wanting to hurt Colin, but she's sort of putting herself and her kid number one. Yeah. And so it's like, I can understand that from Marina's perspective. She needs to, like, provide for herself and, like, secure her own spot. But at the same time, like, we care enough about Penelope. And Penelope makes a lot of good points. Like, she's like, what about Colin? Like, you're kind of screwing Colin over.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose sort of for everyone.
Right.
Except for... Marina.
Well, Marina's going to... She's going to get a husband, and she's convinced that he's going to be a good man and stand by her.
Yeah, but, I mean, they're good...
But it's not her love.
Yeah, he's going to find out. And so, yeah, Colin's probably a good enough guy not to throw her out on the street, as she said, but that's not going to... You know, that is going to cause strain on the relationship for the whole thing.
I just wish we would have gotten a little bit more Colin personality earlier in the show. I felt like we had a lot of time of Anthony in episodes 1 through 4, and we've had significantly less of him in 5 and 6. And so I just wish we would have had even 1 or 2 scenes of, like in the book, Colin and Daphne are the closest in age and are good friends, good buddies. So I really wish we would have seen... a little bit more of Colin. And even Colin and Daphne, or we've seen some fair bit of Benedict and Eloise, and it seems like the 2 of them, like, sort of have a understanding, or like have a friendship as well as siblings, but like, we didn't get to any of that with Colin, and I wish there would have even been just a smidgen more before this plot line with Colin. But, so... On to the main...
Well, on that note, at the end of the very end of episode 6, it is revealed in Lady Whistledown's papers that Marina is pregnant. Not by Colin, obviously. And so that... I don't know. Laura said something immediately. She's like, oh, well, Penelope must have told Lady Whistledown.
That was my guess.
Well, Penelope doesn't know who Lady Whistledown is. Nobody knows who Lady Whistledown is.
That's true, but...
So, here's my... You want to hear my theory on who...
Tell me who.
It's Penelope.
You think Lady Whistledown is...
Who else could it be? She's a big nerd. She's at all these events.
Could be.
She's unnoticed.
Yeah.
Like...
At the end of the first book... Mm-hmm. There's, like, in the epilogue, I mean, you probably can correct me, I'm probably wrong, but I did definitely read this, so I feel like it's in the epilogue. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like Daphne and Simon are sitting and talking about Lady Whistledown, and then it's like, I could picture it in my head, it was like, slow zoom outward, and then it was like, somewhere not too far away, a young lady sits down and pens, Lady Whistledown presents, and so it's like, implies by saying a young lady, that it was not a widow of means, which is what Eloise is thinking. Mm-hmm. So I always thought that it would be revealed at some point who Lady Whistledown is, and that they would be a young, gentle lady. So I don't think that Penelope is...
My money's on Penelope.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good theory. And I feel like the Netflix show couldn't really get away with leaving that a mystery.
Yeah. Not for very long.
You think they would have gone past this season?
I don't think they will. I think
we'll find out in the show who it is. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But what I'm saying is that Penelope comes to Eloise and she's sobbing, and I think it's because she had to reveal it. Whether or not Penelope turns out to be Lady Whistledown, I think that she told someone who told someone who told someone, so it got to Lady Whistledown. Yeah, I think that Penelope had to reveal this secret, even though she'd already told Marina, like, I will never do anything to bring scandal upon this family. I think that she was the one who let it slip that 100%. Marina was expecting. Yep. So So we've pretty much covered all the other plot lines except for our main Simon and Daphne. So what did you think about their marriage and their...
I mean, the whole, the the appeal to the queen, the wedding, the wedding night, the going to Cliveden, adjusting to their new environment. It was great. It was solid. I was like, sick. Awesome. They're not going to put the scene in.
Well, they didn't put the same scene as the book in.
I disagree. It was tweaked, but it's almost identical to the same scene.
I disagree.
I don't have literally any idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so in the book, the scene is the end of...
Trigger warning, I guess.
Content
Sexual
discussion.
violence.
In the book, Daphne is unaware of how children are made, how babies are started. And she, very similarly to how they did in the show, someone mentions a comment about strong seed, and Daphne puts 2 and 2 together. And in the book, she realizes that Simon has been withholding from her. She starts a big argument with him. They get in a big fight and sort of storm off in their separate directions. He goes off and gets drunk because he thinks that she's like going to leave him or something about this. When he comes home, he's completely wasted. She helps put him to bed and they fall asleep in bed together. And then the scene starts where she initiates sex and he's still not fully sober, and she acknowledges that in the scene, and she proceeds to initiate the act, and then I don't want to get like flagged or whatever.
Sure.
And then when it's time to be almost done, she chooses to not get off of Simon and forces him to finish while she is still connected and on top with him. I will be that explicit.
Wow.
So the problem is that he was not fully sober, and he had said multiple times that he did not want or plan to have, he can't ever have children.
And during the event.
So during the event, there's car horns. During the event in the book, he does not explicitly say, no, stop, wait. But he gives her a look with his eyes of like asking for her help. And she chooses actively, she decides, nope, I want to get what I want to get. And they finish. In the show, she has realized what it means to start a baby, and she is like stewing about it all day because she's realized this is something that Simon has withheld from her. And then when he comes to get her, it's like, let's go to bed. She's like, okay. And then when sex is initiated, she climbs on top of him, and then he says, wait, and then she doesn't get off of him, and he finishes. And then she gets off immediately, and he's like, Daphne. And she's like, and then she gets all upset with him, and she's like, you betrayed me, you lied to me. And it really, in my opinion, makes him seem like the bad guy in the show. He's like, well, what just happened? And Daphne's like, you betrayed me, so I betrayed you. You took advantage of me, so I took advantage of you. And he's like, he's not the victim in the show in my... She was yelling at him and making it seem like she's like, well, I just took what I wanted, which is wrong. But she's like the one who's upset and storming out, and Simon's just kind of sitting there like, yeah, I guess you're right, I did.
In the book, it, to me, very clearly, there is no dubious consent. It is flat out rape. Sorry, there goes your monetization. Very clearly, he was drunk, he was asleep, you can't consent, period. Mm-hmm. Regardless of whether or not she got off of him or didn't get off of him, it was rape before that even happened. Mm-hmm. It is less clear in the show. I will grant them that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like
that's what I meant was changed, was that he was not asleep.
Sure.
They initiated sex together in the show, and
That's
he
true.
was not drunk. So,
That's
like,
true.
they took away a lot of those factors that made it
A lot
sort
of
of more
them-
definitively a problem in the book.
Yeah. I mean, it was absolutely a problem in the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
He said, wait, and she kept going. It's rape at that point. Like, if you say stop, I stop. Period.
Is wait equal stop?
I mean, if you said wait, I would stop.
You would immediately fling yourself across the room like Edward Cullen does.
Okay,
Twilight.
that's not a great comparison, but like, I would at the very least pause to see what was happening.
I concur.
As opposed to continuing.
He definitely was giving signals of
I don't want this.
We need to stop.
Which sucks because he in the show is all about consent and asks multiple times through both episodes, like, is this okay? Does this feel good? Such and such. And I'm like, consent is sexy, Simon, you're the best.
I agree. I'm just saying that, like, the show stuck to the theme or the intention of the book in that moment Daphne made a choice to do the thing that she wanted to do.
Sure.
And it was an active choice, and it was against what the choice Simon would have made is.
Sure.
And so I think that the show stuck with that, because that is true in both book and show, is she decided, I want this, so I'm going to do it.
Sure.
I think that the show removed some of the elements that were the clear and obvious indications of non-consent from the book,
Sure.
like the drunkenness and the starting
Sure.
asleep, etc. I don't know that the show made it quite so clear that both parties were fully upset and fully in the
That's true.
wrong. I don't know that the show really did that. I feel like...
Yeah, and like Simon obviously, was withholding information from Daphne and was, withholding something that she wanted. And there was a lack of communication on both parties'
I agree.
parts. I'm not saying Simon is necessarily blameless. Does that mean he should have his wants and desires in the bedrooms totally overlooked and,
No.
Exactly, so...
I'm saying that in the book I felt like there was lack of communication and trouble pre the scene. And then there was the scene, and then there was just as much problems of emotion and anger and guilt and betrayal on both sides in the book. And I don't feel like the show captured that so much afterwards.
Sure, yeah. Because you're right, Simon did just sort of clam up after that.
He was like, what just happened? And
Yeah.
and she like screams at him and like
plays the
victim. And which I think that she was a victim, but she was not because she was not communicated to, but she also was in the wrong. She couldn't be like she was not blameless. They both had made mistakes. And she took what she knew he didn't want to give.
It's true.
So, but I was a little grumpy with afterwards that Simon was like, what just happened? He's like, well, no, you knew. And then he just like sits there and like takes her yelling at him. Yeah. And I'm like, he should be more upset.
Yeah, 100%.
And angry as
100%.
well as betrayed. Like they both should be upset, angry, and betrayed. And I didn't feel like I got quite enough of that from Simon.
Yeah.
So, definitely a longest video so far. We had a lot to say. This is a contentious scene.
It truly shouldn't be, but
it is.
Okay.
There was a lot of debate ahead of time. I saw an article like 2 days ago from I think Vanity Fair that was like, what are they going to do about the scene? So
I would prefer they left it all together.
I feel like they couldn't have left it out.
I know.
I think this was the best adaptation that they could have done.
I know. I still don't agree with it. And that comes down to, it just shouldn't have really been in the book either.
Well, but I think that there's a good potential bringing up that like rape still happens within the marriage bed, rape still happens by a woman to a man,
sure,
especially in like the context of a historical.
Yeah, obviously it's a good message. I mean, it's not a good message to send, but it is a message.
I'm just saying that I think that like to leave the scene out in its entirety would not have been a successful adaptation and probably would have caused more upset. If you have thoughts or feelings about either the book or the show and how this scene was handled, or clarification or correction to either of us, please leave that down in the comments below. Stay tuned. We have 2 more episodes to go, and then 1 more review to film to wrap up the Bridgerton series.
The whole kit and caboodle.
The whole kit and caboodle. So thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and keep an eye out for that final episode. So thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.